What if the most respected voice in sports just predicted the impossible? Stephen A. Smith didn't just make a bold claim. He shook the fight world by saying Terence Crawford will outsmart and outscore Canelo Alvarez this September. Sounds crazy, right? But this isn't some casual hot take. It's a calculated breakdown from someone who's seen legends rise and fall. And the reasoning behind it might flip everything you thought you knew about this matchup.
Crawford. Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat.
You're probably wondering, what made Stephen A. so sure? The answer came during a no-holds-barred appearance on the All the Smoke Fight podcast, where he broke down why Crawford's slick movement, elite footwork, and ring IQ could completely neutralize Canelo's raw firepower. And the internet? It exploded. Fans and analysts instantly split into camps, some calling Smith a genius, others calling him delusional. But one thing's for sure, this debate just got very real.
I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But I don't think he's on that.
It surprised some, but Smith's viewpoint reflects a rising sentiment. Analysts, fighters, fans are beginning to believe that Crawford's footwork and boxing IQ might just outshine Canelo's brute force. September 13th, 2025. Canelo, the undisputed super middleweight king, faces Crawford, rising 2 weight classes. And the boxing world? It's completely split on who wins.
Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
And when I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness.
Sure, Smith's take might stir controversy, but he's got reasoning. He sees Canelo leaning too hard on power shots and struggling when facing agile fighters who control the pace. Crawford, a master of switching stances, with footwork that can dismantle any rhythm. And that, Smith says, is where the fight turns.
The thing that I don't like about Canelo is that it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yes.
And that's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble, and I'm not sure it was him, but I think it was him. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's going to go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready.
Some agree, saying Canelo's tunnel vision for knockouts could leave him vulnerable, but others argue Crawford's skill might not be enough to offset Canelo's size and power advantage. After all, Crawford's entering unfamiliar territory. Bigger opponent, heavier punches, real danger.
Canelo versus Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
September 13th. Now, what's interesting is I actually looked up the odds on this. I went on betonline.ag.
Yeah.
Canelo is minus 180, Crawford is 139, which means that Canelo is favored, not massively favored. So it's like the way this works is that you'd have to bet $180 to make $100. Almost 2-to-1, like 1.8 favored over Crawford, who's 139. So that means if you bet $100 on Crawford, you'll get $139 back.
Yeah.
That's how it works. I'm just kind of learning this now. Do you feel that Canelo's going to win?
No.
Really?
No.
So you would put your money on Crawford?
Yes.
You'd make money. Just put that out there. Why do you think Crawford's going to beat him?
Because Crawford could find people to fight like Canelo, who is amazing. Canelo has he evolved. I saw how he evolved defensively and everything. I just don't think he's as fast as Crawford. And I think Crawford is just a little step ahead as far as movement is concerned. And so I think it's going to be it's going to be Mayweather Canelo Part 2. That's what I think.
Then there's Bruce Carrington. He's been watching closely and thinks Crawford picked the perfect time. Carrington believes Canelo's foot speed isn't what it used to be, making it tough for him to trap slick movers. He sees Crawford using angles, space, and counters to keep Canelo chasing shadows.
If we look at both guys and the way they're training, you see, like I said, Terence Crawford getting really strong, getting built up, potentially to try to go, I don't want to say power for power, but to be able to impose his will on Canelo and to take some of the punching from Canelo, whether it's the body work that Canelo loves with the lead hand, the chopping right hook, or just to be able to keep himself strong in clinch situations, inside, push-pull action. A little montage, but you can still see bits and pieces here. Obviously, neither guy is going to give too much up of their training, but you see him primarily working southpaw in most of his sessions so far, and southpaws have given Canelo some problems in his past, right? So I think, again, the way I started this video, I'm unconvinced that my theory is wrong, because there's path to victory for Terence Crawford. Absolutely. To me, he almost has to be perfect to win this fight. Because, yeah, Canelo can win a decision. He's been doing that for the last 3 years, even though it's going to be a bit more difficult because Crawford, out of the two of them, everybody's saying is the better boxer. He's going to have to be. And he may be, but he's going to have to be.
And just when the debate heats up, Oscar De La Hoya steps in. He highlights something huge: size, Canelo's natural frame, his durability, and he brings up a harsh reminder: Crawford was once rattled by smaller men like Yuriorkis Gamboa. So how's he gonna deal with Canelo's thunder?
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford in Las Vegas. Man, what are your thoughts? How do you see that fight going? Did you think that fight was gonna happen? As a boxing fan, as a guy who's, works with Crawford, is close to Crawford.
At first, for a time, I didn't, right? But then I'm also thinking about after Crawford fought Errol Spence, in my mind, I'm like, what is he gonna do now?
They were talking about Spence fighting Canelo at one point.
Yeah, at one point they were talking about that, But at that point, I'm just like, dang, what is Bud gonna do now? Because I remember he was entertaining a fight with Jamel Charlo as well, But then the Canelo fight, I'm like, oh, okay, that's something. But then I start to kind of do my homework, and I realized, okay, no, Bud actually really does have a chance here, and a real good chance. Not like, oh, maybe if this and that happens. No, Bud has a chance to make that fight a clear victory. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he has a skill set to, make Canelo a bit frustrated with his feet movement. He has the reach. He has the counter punching ability, the speed, the IQ to maintain his dominance in the fight. But I also feel like with Canelo Alvarez.
Still, De La Hoya isn't counting Crawford out. He knows Crawford's smart, unpredictable, and dangerous, and he points to Canelo's past struggles: Bivol, Mayweather. If Crawford can stay off the ropes, keep it clean, stay disciplined, he could pull off the upset, but that's a big if.
Canelo Alvarez, right? Obviously, he has a big fight against Terence Crawford, who's coming up in weight. Yeah. But I keep telling people that Canelo is small for 168. It's not like he's a big 168 pounder. So the size difference isn't that much, in my opinion, right? I mean, I know he's been there longer, right? But Bud is slightly taller than him, longer arms than him. Sure. Do you feel that Terence has a shot in beating Canelo Alvarez?
That's the $1 million question, because I'm a historian. I love boxing. I love watching it. I love studying it. I know it inside out. When I watched Terence Crawford get rattled and rocked by Yuriorkis Gamboa, who's a natural 30-pounder, that to me is going to be a huge problem when he gets hit by Canelo, who's a natural, super middleweight, maybe?
That was so
not that high. But he fought at what, 190? Canelo?
175.
175? Okay. So he fights at 175. He's fighting these big monsters. Yeah. He's not getting rattled at all. No. Berlanga's a big kid. Right. Yeah. So it makes me think, how is Crawford going to keep him away for 12 rounds? Canelo's going to come at him hard.
Then comes Jermall Charlo, bringing a fighter's point of view. He didn't face Canelo himself, but his twin did. Charlo warns, Crawford may lose his explosiveness moving up in weight, and at 168 pounds, timing and speed could fade. That's a risk, even for someone as precise as Crawford.
But then again, I think about Crawford's abilities and his IQ and his footwork, which Canelo cannot handle. And we know that for a fact. It happened with Bivol, it happened with Mayweather, who schooled him left and right with no problem, and Canelo was way stronger than Mayweather. So there's
Don't you think Canelo's a better fighter than he was then? Today?
A better fight? Yeah, a little better. Yeah, his footwork is still the same. He's flat-footed. He's very heavy on his feet. But you saw his last fight with Skull. Mm-hmm. He couldn't move a little against Canelo. They have boxing abilities against Canelo. They might beat him. And I'm pretty sure Crawford is thinking, well,
Terence is a different type of fighter. He's not just a mover. He's going to mix it up.
Oh, yeah.
And to his credit, that was early in his career. Maybe 135 wasn't a good weight. Maybe he could absorb more punches because he's been hit. He was hit by Majmore. If he was hit by Spence, he didn't get hurt then. So maybe he has a tougher chin.
Not just that, Gamboa was the fastest guy alive. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he didn't see that shot, really been able to, but he didn't wobble him. So no one's really been able to hurt neither one of them recently.
Yeah.
So, but I think obviously Canelo has the power to hurt anyone. You know,
I mean, power's a lot.
Guy.
In this game, means a lot. If you can't keep your guy off you.
Another voice enters, Kyron Davis, a guy who's traded blows with both men in sparring. Davis leans Canelo, not from bias, but from experience. He respects Crawford's skill, but says the physical difference is real. He's seen it, and over 12 rounds, it could matter a lot.
I like Crawford. All right. My brother fought Canelo, not me. I like Crawford in this fight, and he get to stay big. But my brother even told me that was his mistake that he made. He thought going up in weight, I gotta get massive, I gotta get big to beat Canelo. It made him slower, it made his reflexes slower. He'll tell you himself. He didn't feel like the Jermell Charlo that y'all seen him fight Tony Harrison. Crawford, I feel like that's the same thing as that. You want to get big to try to absorb Canelo punches and all this, but that's not, technically, that's not the Crawford that we're gonna see. And then Crawford going up there to fight Canelo at 68, when he's not a 68 pounder, where's the motivation? Y'all gotta think about it like that.
Big for Crawford.
The money is good, but I don't expect Terence Crawford to be the Terence Crawford that was knocking out Gamboa, doing all. I don't expect that type of Terence Crawford.
But you're picking Canelo?
I'm not picking either one of their ass.
Now here's a twist. Heavyweight legend Shannon Briggs jumps in, and he's not holding back. Briggs boldly says, Crawford wins by stoppage. Canelo's never been dropped, but Briggs thinks Crawford's ring IQ, his adjustments, will wear the champ down. He calls it late, but powerful.
Have you been in there with Crawford?
Yeah.
So you've been in there with Crawford, you've been there with Canelo. What can you take from sparring both of them to gauge what's gonna happen in September?
Preparation is gonna definitely be everything. Crawford adjusting to the 168 pound division. I know he's been sitting at a heavier weight for a while, but he's been showing his training and stuff. So that's definitely gonna help him. Canelo's experience, but then you got Crawford got great experience as well. It's gonna be a great fight, it's gonna be a good chess match. I expect a great fight. If I had to favor somebody, I would just pick Canelo because of the weight disparity. Canelo is naturally sits really well at 168, and it's just always tough for a guy to come to 168 and come from grab that many weight classes up and do something like that. If he does it, if anybody can do it, it'll be Terence Crawford.
Roy Jones Jr. adds nuance. He praises Crawford's adaptability, but warns about the power gap. Jones says, if Crawford avoids the big bombs early, he has a shot. But if Canelo lands flush in the opening rounds, things could go south, fast. The real test? How Crawford absorbs that kind of force.
of Canelo versus Crawford. What did you make of all the pushing, the shoving, the build-up, the anticipation, the weight differences too?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great fight. I got Crawford by stoppage, and I've known him since he was a little kid. 12 years old. So to see him now fighting for a title in such a big fight, it's a great experience. Great to see.
Last question for me then. How do you think Crawford stops him? How do you think he's able to work Canelo enough for him to stop the fight, drop, knock him down? How do you think this is possible by Crawford style?
He gonna box him. He can fight both ways. He gonna trick him up. One thing Canelo showed is that he can be outboxed. But I think this time in the late rounds, I think Crawford gonna have something for him.
If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know. It'll all be predicated upon how well Terence can take his punch.
Yeah. You said you don't think, or you don't look into the weight difference. Why?
When you know how to box, when you're as skillful as Terence Crawford is, weight don't really matter much.
Tim Bradley is crystal clear. He's backing Crawford, and he's not shy about it. Bradley says Canelo looks sluggish, and while he's still winning, the firepower just isn't the same. Crawford, with his flawless execution and cold focus, is built for this moment. Canelo ain't beating Terence Crawford. That's Bradley's call. Add in the recent buzz, the supplements, the critics, and the hype, and you've got a mega fight that's shaping up to be a legacy-defining war. Don't blink.
One more thing. It don't matter if Canelo is on that. He ain't beat no Terence Crawford. You heard it here first. Plus, I look at the performances of Canelo. I look at his last performances. I mean, they've been all right. It ain't been like, wow, blew me away. So I'm not really worried about all of that. And the same thing goes with Crawford. I know he's with Snack, and I know some news came out this week and all of that, but I personally believe that Snack is clean.
Tim Bradley is crystal clear. He's backing Crawford, and he's not shy about it. Bradley says Canelo looks sluggish, and while he's still winning, the firepower just isn't the same. Crawford, with his flawless execution and cold focus, is built for this moment. Canelo ain't beating Terence Crawford. That's Bradley's call. Add in the recent buzz, the supplements, the critics, and the hype, and you've got a mega fight that's shaping up to be a legacy-defining war. Don't blink.